Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. This is episode 355, as well as day 355 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days in a row and to run 1,500 miles within this yearly time frame. To do that all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring, here in the state of Michigan. So no treadmills while obtaining these miles and running every day. I've also challenged myself to run two major races within this yearly time frame. One being a ultra marathon 50K trail race. That was the Yankee Springs 50K trail race out in Middleville, Michigan. Ran that race on day 156 of my journey. That was a 31-mile race. I finished it within 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds, which was a personal record for me. Now I have that bar set for the next race that is going to be a 50K within 2022. But let's continue with 2021 here. The next race that came up within the yearly time frame of the 2021 365-day challenge was the Detroit Free Press Marathon. That was on day 290 of my journey. I finished that race within 3 hours, 57 minutes, and 28 seconds, which was also a personal record for me. I was shooting for that sub 4 hour time and was just able to obtain it, so I was very excited about that. Now have bigger goals in mind for the next marathon, but we'll discuss that once we get that locked in. Again, that was on day 290 of my journey. The 50K was on day 156, and now we are sitting here on day 355. We are 10 days away from completing the 365-day challenge in 2021 of running every day in 2021. So, really close to closing that out. But let's break down the mileage for the day 355. Got out there for the day today, sped things up a little bit with the actual speed and pace of my run. Had been nursing my leg and nursing my runs for the beginning of the month here and kind of going a little bit slower and shorter. But been starting to pick it up a little bit more. Picked up the pace today and put in 3.2 miles for the day today. That put me at 6.3 miles for the week, being the second day in the week. That put me at 73.2 miles for the month, which put me at 1,648.5 miles for the year. So we're 148.5 miles past that 1,500 mile mark for the year. Surpassed that in pretty sure mid to late November. Then had to really slow down with the ankle injury. So I was very excited to pass that 1,500 mile mark. Now have not really reset a new goal because the original goal was actually 1,250. We realized I was going to pass that halfway through the year, change it to 1,500. Now have officially passed that. Now we're just going to see where we end up for the end of the year. Hoping somewhere right around 1,700. That's kind of my guess. Probably really close to that, which would be awesome. Personal record as well for me. So that is about the yearly mileage. But let's talk again about these monthly miles of 73.2. And that is because every single month I challenge myself to a 100-mile challenge in honor of a charity in which I donate money to and start a coinciding fundraiser to try to raise money and awareness for throughout that month. So for the first 11 months was able to run the 100-mile challenges for each month and was able to raise money for 11 great charities throughout those months. Now we're sitting here within the 12th month, the month of December, and we're raising money for yet another great charity, that charity being St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So if you would like to donate to this month's fundraiser, you can find the link to do so on the Defining Discipline Instagram story or the Defining Discipline Facebook story. or my personal page's Instagram story, or my personal page's Facebook story. Within those stories, all you do is click on the actual link and it'll open up the actual Facebook page where you're able to make your donations. I do want to let you know that all donations that do get made to this cause in this fundraiser, on this fundraiser page, goes directly to this cause and fundraiser. Facebook is not taking or keeping any percentage or portion of your donations. Every penny goes directly to the cause. I do know times are tough though, and not everyone is able to afford to donate to the cause, or they'd still like to help out, or maybe you have donated and want to help out even more. If either of those are the case, what you can do is you can also click on that share button to try to help raise awareness for this cause this month by putting it on your page or putting it in your stories. Getting people's eyes on it helps raise awareness for the cause, and in return will also help possibly raise money. So click on that share button. Get your donations in for this month's 100-mile challenge, which is in honor of St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Now that we have gotten that out of the way, today is day 355, episode 355. But right before we get into today's episode, as always, we must go over today's word of the day for December 21st. And today's word of the day is exasperate. Exasperate means to cause irritation or annoyance to someone or to excite the anger of someone. Exasperate. That is today's word of the day for December 21st, 2021. Now let's get into today's actual episode, episode 355, day 355. Today's theme for today's episode goes with today's episode of being the 355th episode. Today's episode is actually Countdown. And I wanted to talk about that because that is currently what we are on. We are on now officially the 10-day countdown. 10 more days left within 2021. It's crazy to really think we have came this far along within the year, and that there's now only 10 days left before year's end, and this challenge is over. And it's crazy to think that I have ran 355 days. So wanted to touch on the countdown because, again, we are 10 days out, and it just seems so insane to look back at the beginning of the year and be 10 days into it and really still kind of questioning if, this was going to be possible, how I was going to feel, what was going to happen, how far along I was going to get. Had all these different questions, and now we are sitting here on the actual countdown. 10 more days left within the year of 2021, and 10 more runs, and I've officially been able to say I ran every day in the year in 2021. So really cool feat, really cool thing to do and say. Very excited and stoked about that. So that's kind of really all today's episode was about. It's nothing special. Just wanted to touch on the countdown in general, that we are here closing out the year. We're so close to officially being able to say I ran 365 times this year, technically 366 with the 2 races I did on the same day on day 289, the day before the marathon. Had to run 2 races. So we're currently on the countdown to close this year out, but with that in mind, knowing that the countdown is actually a countdown to close the year out, that means there's going to be a rebirth, a resurrection, a new year in return. And that new year is going to be filled with new goals, new sights, new aspirations, new things I want to try to hit, new races as well. So over the next few days, we'll be kind of transitioning into that. We will also be transitioning this whole structure of the podcast and everything as well. It's definitely not going to be daily as it has been. Maybe doing weekly check-ins with maybe a monthly episode with a guest is kind of the goal. Still doing daily posts with short video and short photo to continue the structure of the Instagram and the Facebook and all of that jazz and the TikTok. We'll be doing posts like that. Social posts, we'll still be doing daily posts. But as far as episodes, probably will not be checking in as often, or we may be making the daily posts that I said. There will be video as well. Me out there running, talking probably slightly for a minute or two. May transition those into very short podcast snippets. But don't expect in 2022 to have me talking to you every single day about the journey. We will be touching on some things, like I said, but it just will not be as involving as it has been. It's been a great challenge, but now again we are on the countdown, closing this year out, this great year, this challenging year. 10 days officially left before we transition into 2022 and turn this into something new. Again, it's very indescribable to talk about the feeling of being 355 days into the year of running every single day, running big races, really pushing myself and challenging myself to get to this point. Again, very indescribable. Great feeling, and really excited to close this year out. Very excited to continue to push forward and keep the streak going. So, day 355, episode 355. Today's episode's theme was countdown. We touched on just the idea of the countdown, and that we are 10 days now officially from closing out the year and closing out the last challenge within this yearly challenge, which was to run every day and to run the 2 major races and to cross the 1250/1500 mile mark, which we've done. So we got the 10 days left, and we would surpass a lot of these challenges. Also, still within these 10 days, one of these days, I'm having to pump out a half marathon of a sort, because I have challenged myself to run a half marathon every month, which I have done, at least a half marathon. So actually this Sunday, so maybe day 360, 61, not exactly sure what day it's going to be. It's Sunday. I'm planning to go back out for the 3rd time and try to tackle the Potawatomi Trail, 17.5-mile trail. Try to get a sub 3 time on it. Came close last time. First time it really took us out. Me and my buddy Nick have hit it 2 times this year. Going back for a 3rd time to try to really get that good 3-hour time. So if that doesn't happen, would still be pumping out a good, decent mileage day that day. Because again, one of the challenges I had set for myself this year as well was running at least a half marathon, 1 half marathon every month. So got to continue that and finish that off. Other than that, again, going into 2022 and counting down, looking forward to a few races that I wanted to sign up for. I'm not going to really name them off, but I do have a couple marathons for sure lined up. I have a 50 miler I know I want to get done. Just location wise, I was kind of up in the air. I would have liked to gone out west, but it just seems not very feasible with driving and having to fly out there, and then wanted to really try to acclimate, but have my family there, have a crew there. It just seems easier maybe to try to stick a little bit closer to home. But either way, we will have a couple races lined up here before too soon. And actually, one of these last episodes, maybe the month in review, or the year in review, or maybe even just one of these few last episodes, it'll touch and bring up a couple of the actual races that I have in mind. So that is day 355, episode 355. It is countdown for your daily discipline. Today it is to do the same. It is to count down. There's plenty of things you can count down to, I guess, but maybe you're counting down to the weekend. Maybe you're counting down to a big event within your life. The whole thing is to, one, keep in mind of the countdown and to count down and anxiously wait, but to also really think about how far you've already came waiting for this. And because you can be too anxious, you can overthink it, you can, as you're counting down, screw yourself up possibly. So really just kind of think about how far you've came and how close we are. That's kind of what I've done for the day today. It's kind of insane to think that 355 days this year I've been out there, outside, running. And now we're 10 days away from closing out this year, and I feel like there's just so much more I could have gave, and there's so much more I can give still, and it's just been a great year. And now we're sitting here on the cusp of it to close out, and now we're going into 2022 to go even harder and stronger. So thank you guys so much for listening. Episode 355, day 355, 10 days left within the year. This is episode countdown of the Defining Discipline podcast. If you guys can, please give this podcast a like, a subscribe, a follow, a share on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and whatever other podcast streaming platform you've been found along and listening on. Other than that, just get your daily discipline done. Stay disciplined. Get your donations in for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and other than that, just peace out. See you guys tomorrow for episode 356.